All right, so Israel released their first footage showing tunnels underneath the Shifa hospital. We'll go ahead and play it here and then walk through a couple thoughts at the end. So the whole video, start to finish, is about 2 minutes long. You see it starts just inside the outer wall to the Shifa hospital on the hospital grounds. I've seen a couple people refer to these tunnel entrances as elevator shafts. Like, look, inside of a building, maybe, but out in the middle of a courtyard like this, come on. Where's that elevator going to, right? Just randomly goes 10 meters underground. But anyways, in the bottom right, after Israel dropped these cameras down in here, they're able to kind of map this out a little bit. So they've got a graphic in the bottom right showing where they are in relation to the overall tunnel. They're showing, right, there we go, a spiral staircase going down for the fighters to be able to enter or exit through this opening. And then it gets dark because, it's a tunnel. And strangely, Hamas didn't leave the lights on for the IDF. Actually going to be one of the challenges anytime they go in to explore these tunnels is everything is going to be pitch black. We do get a little more light here in just a moment. Now, Israel says that this initial tunnel that we're getting into, 7-meter spiral staircase down, 10 meters total in depth by the time they get to the portion that you're going to be able to walk through, that the Hamas would be able to walk through. That is far underground. That's easily, protecting folks from any bombs overhead. So this tunnel, a little better light now, and there's going to be something in the corner here, right there. I'm going to come back and look at that in a second. I know Hamas, or the IDF, is itching for any sort of weaponry and military equipment to be found in these tunnels. I don't know if that's exactly what we saw, but anyways, we'll come back to it. In the tunnel here, this is as to be expected. This is no different than footage that Hamas has put out showing their tunnels. Israel says that this stretch right here is about 50 meters long, coming off of that staircase. And then at the end here, they're coming up on what they call as a blast door. So protective door, able to stop small arms fire, maybe even explosives. And we'll take a screenshot of that here in a second and talk more to that after the video ends. All right, so a couple thoughts. First one, I imagine we're going to see a lot more of these videos in the coming days. Israel's under a lot of pressure to show that the Shifa hospital did not just have a few AKs in the basement somewhere, but that there's an entire tunnel network in and around the hospital that Hamas is using. So this looks like the first piece of that puzzle that they're presenting, a entrance to a tunnel on the Shifa hospital grounds. And now they're entering into those tunnels to try to clear them out in some way, shape, or form to kind of piece this whole network together. Now I want to go back to that image, or we'll take an image here, kind of a screenshot of something that was stacked in the corner. Yeah, it's just so blurry, right? It seems like there's definitely something stacked there. I know it could be weapons, could also be a shovel or nothing at all. Again, I know Israel, if they start to see weapons or explosives, grenades, anything like that in the tunnel, I'm sure they're going to call that out. I didn't see anything like that mentioned in this initial tunnel video. And then moving on through the tunnel here to the blast door, I had heard some rumors. Just some folks had sent me messages about this in the last couple days, and I didn't want to say anything about it because I hate putting out information that can't be verified publicly. I don't think there's any value in that, saying I heard this or I heard that. But this was something a few folks had mentioned, was that IDF was starting to come across some of these blast doors in the tunnels. So when Israeli forces move down into the tunnels, they have to be on the lookout for booby traps, IEDs, anything that could collapse the tunnel in on themselves and the soldiers behind them. Another concern now that's starting to arise, or starting to see proof of here, is some of these blast doors. So if an explosive device is set on the outside of this, a grenade is rolled down this tunnel, it's not going to go through that door. Depending on the thickness of this door, it's going to be able to stop at least small arms fire. And the firing hole, or what's called out there as a firing hole, the idea there is that Hamas could open that up, stick the rifle out, fire through the tunnel, and there's nowhere to hide in that tunnel, right? As soon as you get down that 50-meter stretch, like, it's you facing that firing port. That's it. So you can understand the risk of moving any personnel through there. So it does look like these firing ports and blast doors are a thing, which shouldn't be shocking, right? Hamas has had a long time to build these tunnel networks. If it was you, if you were building tunnels anywhere, whether they're under a hospital, under a school, or out in the countryside, and you have to think that at some point an enemy force is going to be coming through there trying to clear you out, what sort of defensive measures are you going to be building into it when you have the time and the space and the equipment in a lot of ways? So to hear blast doors with firing ports, if those are stacked every 50 meters, every 100 meters, whatever it might be, shouldn't really be a shock. But again, First clip right here coming out from Israel. I would imagine that we're going to start seeing a lot more of these in the coming days.